Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to another episode, another installment of the best podcast in the world, Dropping the Soap. It's your boy Marty Jr., all up in your pooner. You already know what
Man,
time it is, man.
how many times did you drop this up, bro? That's the question, bro.
Look,
I
homie, check
think
this
that's what
out,
everybody
bro.
wants to know.
If I
My
drop the
boys,
soap, I'm picking it back up, homie. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's my soap. I paid for it. Why am I? I don't know.
hey, the
I
dude
don't know
next
what
to
I'm
you,
supposed to do.
the
I know
dude
what you're
next to you
saying,
is
though. I
gonna
know what
take
you're
it
trying
as
to
you're
insinuate,
flirting.
bro.
The dude next to you is gonna be like, "Oh, he's flirting with me? Oh, is he
Yeah.
trying to get at me right now? What's
Drop
up?"
it. Oh, I just dropped the soap.
You're gonna announce it hella loud, like, "Hey guys, I dropped the soap."
Homie, bro, check it
My
out, man. What we got going on
boy,
today, man?
man. Today, bro. Today is today, and tomorrow will be tomorrow.
Sarcasm at its finest.
No, I would say today we got something very, 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 very interesting. Something that I can't talk about, because I don't think people will appreciate me identifying as black. So obviously, I can't talk about this. So
Why not, bro?
uh,
I'll accept you, bro. Come on. We can call you light skinned like us.
they're gonna Rachel Dollars on me, bro.
Yeah, they're gonna cancel. They're gonna cancel you for sure.
They're gonna cancel the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
No, Clarence talked to me about this. Me and Clarence talked about this a couple times about how it was like for him growing up, and obviously people don't. I don't know if he mentioned this, but he's from Denver, so he grew up in a white community.
Oh,
Obviously, yeah, he grew up in Denver, so he talked to me how it was for him growing up being his dad being black and his mom being white, and I found that I found it hella interesting and like super shocking, bro, how it was back in his days. Cause Frank, Clarence is old, bro. Clarence is an old timer. He don't come out here, but he got his walker, he got his dentures. You know what I'm saying?
shut up. Does he really? I was
Nah,
like, damn, bro, you gonna put him on blast?
bro.
Is he out?
Yeah, bro.
Is he right there or what?
Bro, he always here. I
He's
can't
always
get rid
there.
of that
Well,
guy.
get him on,
Clarence,
man.
all right, man. Without further ado, here comes to you, bro. The walking penis face, Clarence Kilbert.
Oh, Junior want to be funny today, bro.
What's up, bro?
Big brother, man, how you
How you
doing?
doing, man? All right, how about you?
I'm doing
Good
good,
to see
man. It's hella good to see you, bro.
you, man.
Man, I
You
haven't
two
seen
got,
you in a while since our last episode, man.
yeah, I know. You know why? I've been kind of ducky. You may got the wrong hat on, bro. I don't know
Oh,
kind of hat. I don't know what that hat is. Supposed to be a Broncos hat. Oh my God, he just killed me. He just killed me, nah, man. It's good to see you, though, Marty. What's up, bro?
how you doing,
How
man?
you doing?
Obviously, we welcome you to another episode of Dropping the Soap.
Yeah.
Today we talked about a little bit about what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about race, man. Right? Me and you are
Okay.
both biracial men. A lot of people might not notice seeing me, but I am half black and I'm half white, and you are
Yeah.
half black
Same.
and half white as well. So I'm just gonna dive right into it, man, and ask you a question.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you essentially when you were growing up, have you ever had to confront your identity? Meaning, did you ever have to like ask yourself, "Hey, am I black or am I white?" And if so,
I
like, how
did.
was that for you?
I did. That was actually very challenging for me because I grew up in the era where interracial relationships were very frowned upon. That weren't as accepted as they are today. So nobody explained to me in my house what being black was or being mixed of a mixed race was. Nobody explained that to me. So when our family fell on hard times, we moved in the ghetto, and that was my first experience of being around a bunch of black people, right? Because my father had left the picture, and it was only me and my mother. My mother was white, and so here we are in the ghetto where everybody, the majority of people who lived there were black, and the
Right.
families were black, and so we kind of stood out because here it is, my mother was white, and so when I got enrolled in school, and the majority of the school was black. There were Samoans, there were Mexicans, there were some Asians, but the majority was black. And so that was the first time for me that I got confronted with who I was, because when I found myself there, I found myself uh, feeling hard to fit in. I didn't know where to fit. I knew that I looked black because I had a afro and my skin tone, but I didn't know what that meant. And So I found myself confronting that because I was called the N word, and it was by a person of another race, and so I didn't really understand what that was, right? And then I found myself. That was the moment that I found myself confronting my identity, because um, I didn't like I said, I didn't know what that was. And so when I got called that, it was very hard for me to process that and what that meant. And one of my guys that I met at school told me, like, hey man, you gonna let him call you that? What's up? Right? And then so that's at the moment where I got in a fight with the guy who called me that. And that was the moment that I challenged my identity. And I confronted my identity. And then after that initial fight behind it, then that was the moment where I was came to the realization that, okay, even though I'm half white and half black, I'm identifying more with the black side based on my friends, the school, and the environment, and being confronted with my identity.
Right.
So yeah, it was a challenge. Yeah,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah. You know, what's funny is, man, is I relate to that very much. Right.
Yeah.
For me, I grew up. My mom's black, my dad's white. Right. But my
Okay.
mom's side of the family, we didn't really know growing up. Actually, I didn't know. I
Right.
don't have anybody on my black side of my family. So I
Right.
grew up in a family with nothing but white people. So for me growing up,
Okay.
like, I always knew I was black. I always knew I looked different. I
Right.
always knew that my skin was darker. Um,
Right.
and so for me, I never had to, like, really ask myself, "Oh man, are you black?" Or, like, I always knew I was black, right? But I feel like for me
Yeah.
it was such a hard thing to accept myself being white, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude,
Right. Me
nobody's
too.
ever one time in my entire life called me white. I never came
Yeah.
across anybody who was like, "Oh, that's a white guy." Like, no, they're like, "Oh, he's
Yeah.
either black or he looks like he's Mexican or Puerto Rican or
Yeah.
something
Right.
else." And I'm like, dude, actually,
Right.
I'm half white. You know, I should be
Yeah.
able to say I'm white. I should be able to go somewhere and say, hey,
Right.
you know, I'm white. And
Yeah.
I'm also black. And
Yeah.
I should be able to say that. But a lot of times, people
Yeah.
in the world, man, they want to put you in a box. You either have to be black or you
One
either
or the
have to be
other.
white. You can't be both, right?
Absolutely.
You can't
Can't
like
be both.
you can't identify with either or. But for me, I think
Yeah.
I've have actually identified a lot more with my white side just because I'm upbringing. I was in a predominantly white family, predominantly white city, and all my
Oh,
friends growing up were
right.
white. So yeah, I'm a
Okay.
black man. I am a black man, but I grew up
Right.
in around normal white kids and stuff for most of my life until I got a little bit older and stuff. But we'll
Well,
talk about that later. But um, so
I
have you
can
ever felt
definitely
like you
relate to
weren't
that.
black enough at times
Yes.
because you were light skinned?
Yes, because especially at school, because I grew up in the whole light skin, dark skin versus dark skin era, right? And where it seemed like the lighter you were, as you're black, you were light skin, the more favorable you were treated, right?
Mm,
And this, I'm not just talking about by the girls who all the girls wanted light skinned dudes with good hair and stuff like
right.
that.
Yeah.
The teachers treated you a little different. The staff the school treated you a little different. When you were dark skin, you were more frowned upon, and so and that's what happened. And this days all the way back to the slavery days, where it was called the Willie Lynch syndrome, where
Right.
you had the house Negro and the field Negroes pitted against each other, because you had the house Negro who was in the house, who was with the slave master, and he thought he was better because he was in the house. So I'm better than the field Negroes who's working in the field and getting treated worse than I am. And then the field Negroes were oh, you think you're better than us because you're in the house. Okay, so it built up a real animosity between the light skinned Negro and the dark skinned Negro, was carried over into the times that we are in today. When I was coming up, that even though we were all friends, the light and dark skin, we fought. We had fights because of
Mm,
the color of our skin.
right.
They thought light skinned dudes were soft. They thought that, oh, you think you're better than us. They were jealous because we were getting attention from the girls, and then we were jealous of them because in actuality we wanted to be their skin tone.
Right.
We didn't we wanted to be darker, so we didn't get called names like piss colored, Oreo, zebra,
Yes.
coconut. These
Yes.
things had a traumatic effect on myself and the other light skinned kids that went to school, because man, Bart, there were times where I would literally be in the mirror with tears in my eyes wishing I was darker so I didn't get teased. It didn't matter how much fighting I did over it because that was a real trigger for me. So I got a lot of fights behind my skin tone because I felt like I had to do more to fit in. I felt like okay, I have to act more black. I have to do more things. I have to talk more black. I have to, fight more black. Everything I had to do was based on me being accepted by the darker skin blacks that went to my school with my friends. And so we had a real thing where, like, if one of us fought, we all fought. That was just the thing. But then at the end of the day, we would still be friends. We'd still be out there playing football with each other, staying the night over each other's houses. Yeah. But there was always those times where we got into fights over the color of our skin. So it was a real challenge. And so yeah, it was rough, man. And it did, like I said, this dates all the way back to the slavery days. This is a thing that's been going on, and it's still, I'm quite sure, it's prevalent in the school setting environments that we live in today.
Oh, you know what's funny, bro? Is I watch videos all the time on TikTok or YouTube, and I always see people making jokes about light skinned people, like about how they're soft. Like, oh, only a skinned person would say that, right? Only a half man, like. And so it's still going on today, man. And
for sure.
You just gave me so much perspective. Like, you gave me more perspective than I even realize right now, man. And about that.
Too.
We only have 20 seconds left, man. If you got time, I'm down to do another one.
For sure, man.
Kind of expand upon this topic. You guys, like and subscribe if you like our content. Dropping the soap.
Yes, dropping the soap.
This is Clarence. We're going to do another episode right now. Bye.